Good morning, everyone. This is Javar of CSE B section. My topic: emissions evidence. Estimation of in-use emissions. What will be covered? EPA's model needed. What are emissions factor models? Description of Mobile 6. How do Mobile 6 differ from Mobile 5? Background attainment demonstrations must be made using estimation of emissions from vehicles in actual use. Background attainment demonstrates what must be made using estimates of emissions from vehicles in actual use. Vehicles in actual use often do not recover proper maintenance, and in some cases, their emission control systems are deliberate tempered with. As it is, the average emission rate for vehicles in actual use often exceeds the inappropriate emission standard. EPS model mobile. States must use EPS mobile model to estimate emission factors. The current model is Mobile 6. Mobile 6 emits emissions rates for each pollutant in terms of grams per million. That is, grams emitted per vehicle mile traveled VMT. Emission factors are calculated for different vehicle types. Then they are manipulated by appropriate weighting factors to develop a composite emission factors for each VMT in an area. Total emissions are calculated by multiple emission factor by total VMT. What is Mobile 6? Computer model for 10, which is based on US EPA's Mobile 5A model, calculates emission factors for a fleet average vehicle, either for gasoline and diesel on road vehicles. Calculate EF for light duty gasoline vehicles, light duty gasoline trucks, 3 categories, heavy duty gasoline trucks, 8 categories, light duty diesel vehicles, light duty diesel trucks, heavy duty diesel vehicles, motorcycles, gasoline buses, diesel buses, urban and school, exhaust and evaporate decarbonization emissions HC, and exhaust carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and future enhancements like to include PM toxic greenhouse gases. Developed by US EPA Office of Mobile Sources and Aerobon Mechanican. What can the model do? Analytical tool that can be applied for air quality planning can be used to estimate emissions impact from future vehicle fleet, diesel alternate fuel use, vehicle speeds, roadway types, embedment temperature, fuel RVP, oxygen conflict, sulfur content, RFG, air conditioning, cold starts, inspection, maintenance programs, onboard diagnostics, vehicle tampering, new vehicle standards, other strategies, evaporative controls, reflowing controls. Refer to Ribratic CAC mobile prescription presentation. Emission factor assumption. The emission factor in the mobile model are based upon assumptions about how different factors affect vehicle emissions. Emission factors take into consideration the following: vehicle emission control technology, that is, the emission standards for that the vehicles are designed to comply with. Emission factor assumptions content. Relation of emission control performance. How vehicles assumption increase as vehicle accumulates miles. The basic emission rates PER is equal to 0 mile level plus deterioration factor into accumulated mileage. The PER is function of the following: assumed owner maintenance and tampering habits, vehicle age assumptions, mileage assumptions, emission control technology. Emission factor assumption control. Vehicle type. Gasoline powered cars versus light trucks. Diesel powered heavy duty vehicles. Vehicle use assumptions. Average speed is equal to cold start, percent, hot start, hot transition. Environment parameters. Temperature. Cloud cover. New bubble 6 input. Altitude. High or low. Fuel parameters. Reformulated gasoline. Percent sulfur and percent oxygenates. Emission factor assumptions. Emission type OBDA. Helpally. Test IM240, ASM, ideally, etc. Test type gas cap pressure test, tank pressure test, pursuit, does not done by model. Anti-tampering program, example, CAT inspiration. Start data. Credits are calculated assuming that the program identifies certain percentage of high emitting vehicles and brings the emission level of these vehicles and assumed values based upon the emission test standards. Emission factor assumption control. Users can vary inputs for items C to G. User cannot vary B, R, and response to user inputs. Emission, fleet and active data, structural changes, input and output formats, documentation. Update in use, deterioration, emits for light duty cars and trucks. New emission standards, LD and HD. Effects of fuel composition. Update effects of oxidation fuels on CO emission. Explicit effects of sulfur on exhaust emission, including long-term and irrelevant effects. Expert model of natural gas vehicles. LV normal emitted composition. Emission effect based on regression conference. You can see the diagram. Gross liquid leakers. Many vehicles may have leaks of liquid gasoline, but not all gross liquid leakers. Only the highest emitting of the leakers are gross liquid leakers. Some vehicles may be gross liquid leakers on some of the tests. OBD assumptions. Equal treatment for all three pollutants. MIL on rate, response rate of OBD outside of IM. OBD exceptions. IM identification rate, ability of OBD system to find high emitters in an IM program. Assumption to be 90% after IM repair emission level of OBD failures. Assumed to be 1.5 times FTP standard, no change over time or mileage. Phase in IM 240 versus phase in IM 2525 for 1988 to 1993, 1993 PFCH. You can see the diagram. Heavy duty emissions. New emission standards, new conversion factors will be adjusted for HD NOx excesses. These are all the graphs for showing the excess NOx emission leaks due to the HD defeat, device and migration strategies. Running Mobile 6. Prepare a M6 input file and save from Windows. Double click on the M6 draft exe application icon. A DOS window will appear. Enter the input file name at the promote. Remember to include path if input file is in a different directory folder than the run folder. Hit return. Example, simplest input file, header run scenario. Header of the file is mobile 6 input file, run data. Runner is minimum maximum temperature, fuel level. Scenario. Scenario recapitulation, calendar year, end of the run. This is the diagram for Harry Counter 2007 model mobile 6 composition VOC emission by mileage accumulation rates. Comprehension of highway model mobile source. Emission inventory from mobile 1 through M6. This is the chart to show the model comments and applicable emission standards. Just check for one. Two types of runs performed. Runs with the 1990 Clean Air Act amendments turned off. Basic emission rates Gmile calculated by the models are shown for direct comprehension across models. Run with all emissions regulations applicable at the time of release and those additions shown in the table decreasing each model of the model for a typical high ozone southern metropolitan region. The results in tons per day shown the changes in total on-road emission inventories with different versions of model. This is the graph to show the basic evaporation THC that is in 1990 CAAA. Other emission factor models. EPA non-road emission model. EPA has recently developed a model to estimate non-road emissions. The model is similar to concept to Mobile 5 in that it projects emission factors for a wide variety of vehicle types. EPA mobile model. Part 5. Estimating vehicle miles traveled, VTM. Thank you.